And everyone's pooped from the risotto. How is it going, boys and girls? Welcome back to Key West Waterman. My name is Aaron Young. So we actually just finished up last week's episode where we caught and cooked and ate an Alfonzino, the first time we'd ever seen that fish ever. And we're going to start today's episode. I think a lot of people are under the impression I go out Monday morning, film an episode, come home and post it that night. Well, we kind of just film stuff as it happens. We are actually, tomorrow morning, it is Wednesday evening, tomorrow morning early, Will and I are heading up to Miami. We're going to get on a flight and ride over to Belize for the first time and do a little bit of diving. And I wanted to cover a few things, kind of maybe show you a little bit of the travel. I'm not really good at I don't know, it feels kind of weird filming that kind of stuff. They call them vlogs or whatever, but maybe I do vlog, I don't know. I wanted to show you guys a little bit kind of behind the scenes of how I pack my gear when I do travel, maybe give you a couple tips, and maybe you'll learn something. So I'll meet you downstairs. All right. So I've done a preliminary pack, and I think I have everything other than my wetsuit, which is hanging right here. Packing for a dive trip can be kind of scary, in my opinion. Well, at least for me. Not my opinion, it's scary for me. Because once you're there, you're there. You can't go run home and grab anything. If you forgot something, you either got to figure out a way to buy it or borrow it or kind of make do without. So when I'm packing for a dive trip, what I kind of do is sit down, run through my head a dive day, what I'm doing. I'm sitting down, putting my wetsuit on, putting my gloves on, my booties on. I put my, or not my mask over my head, I put my weight belt on, put defog in my mask. Before all that, I put lube in my wetsuit. Just kind of go through everything, all the scenarios, what happens if my flashlight dies. So I try to think of everything. And that's kind of how I do it. I envision myself in the boat, getting ready to dive, suiting up, and it kind of makes me do a checklist. If you got to write it all down, you hate to forget something, but so this is what I have. I will go over it real quick. I've got my weight belt, obviously, with my knife. That's actually my backup knife. I lost my other knife. I'm waiting for a new one to show up. So I only have one knife. Normally I bring a spare. Got a couple of throw flashers. I've got 2 things of defog, a little bit of baby shampoo for wetsuit lube. I have a flashlight, 2 extra batteries. I've got my GoPro case. This is my GoPro mask. I like to separate them. If you've ever traveled, TSA goes pretty hard on some of this stuff. So if you have anything that's kind of brittle, I don't like it being up there, so I take that apart. I've had them pretty much break or snap pretty much everything you could think of. I've got my fins, snorkel, booties, gloves, 2 extra bands. This is just a backup mask. I've got 2 shafts, so 1 primary and a spare. I do like to travel with them out of the gun. And then the shafts, I run in a PVC as well. This is my sport tube. Kind of have mixed reviews on sport tubes. They're great, they're rigid, they protect your gear. The problem is TSA typically is going to pull everything out, search it, and try and cram it back in there. So if you have it in there like a puzzle, nice and neat, when they go to cram it back in there, they're normally going to break or bend something. For the most part, every time I go, they break at least one thing. When I went to Fiji, somehow they managed to bend like 6 shafts that was in a PVC case in the sport tube. They're great for that. Some people have switched to soft bags that they can just unzip them, look, and then zip it back up, but it's not as rigid, so you kind of deal with that. So that is everything. Like I said, other than my wetsuit, I'm going to pull that down, and maybe I'll show you here how I pack this and try and make it nice and neat. Alrighty, so the easiest way I have found to do this is start with this standing up. I start with my long items first. You want this tube to be as short as possible. When it comes to baggage fees and stuff like that, the longer and bigger it is, the more it weighs, the more it costs, obviously. So if I can try and keep it compact, I like to. So start with my longer items first. So another reason I don't like leaving the shafts in the guns, I mean, other than shortening up the guns, I can't remember if I mentioned it. If it's an enclosed track gun and say they do somehow crank down on that, or they're putting it back in the tube and it gets pulled out, you can rip the enclosed track out of your gun. And that's not something you want to deal with because you just pretty much ruined your gun. So after this, I'm actually not bringing a ton of stuff, so this actually may have a decent amount of room here. Obviously your fins are extremely important. Try to take care of them best I can. Sometimes I will carry these on, depending on how much I'm bringing, how far I'm going. Belize is only about a 2-hour flight, so hopefully they can't screw it up that bad. Just try and get those down in there, just like so. This is actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I like to put these on the bottom. I don't know why I didn't do that. I like the weights down towards the bottom. Because these sport tubes have wheels on them, so if you want the weight towards the bottom, that's the part that's taking a load off of you. Alrighty. Stuff like this I actually like to tape up. Somehow they will manage a way to open this up and spill it all throughout your dive bag. Pin. Alright, there we are. Something else I also like to do, not going to have an issue with this one, I do like to weigh it. There are weight restrictions on a lot of the flights, so I do have access to a scale, weigh it ahead of time, that way you're not in the airport trying to move stuff around just to save a couple bucks. But I'm not sure, maybe I may film a little bit of the travel from here to there. I'm not sure, it kind of depends on how the travel goes and how I'm feeling, but I'll either see you shortly or I'll see you once we get to Belize. How's your breakfast, Will? So we are here, Miami International Airport. It's 11 a.m. We left Key West at 5 this morning. Took us about 3.5-4 hours to get here. Will's enjoying his bagel. And we board in about 10 minutes, so we're right on time. We're 5.5 hours in. And we're not on our flight yet, but it'll all be worth it once we get there. Apparently it's a 2-hour-ish flight. And then once we get there, we gotta get on another small plane and jump a puddle and be at our final destination. Hold on.
We have the next day off.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Philippines Boston International Airport. Your time is 21 p.m.
Did you study?
No, I didn't.
So we are here, we made it. We're waiting for that second flight, so if we enjoy a cold beverage while we wait. Supposedly it's only like 10 minutes or so, but not for another hour, so we're gonna enjoy the scenery. Will, are you ready?
It's actually a really nice way.
No. He said no.
It's got like amenities and things.
Hey, you got arrested?
You got egg service coming?
You didn't want us customers.
Walmart, I like it.
Everything you find in there, it stays with seat back as your home, so it's not very hard to get the same brand. On the side, there's a real estate brand.
We are here. We have made it to our final destination in Belize. Figured I'd give you a quick walkthrough. Will found the couch. This is not too bad. And all of our luggage made it. I haven't opened that yet, so I don't know if my spear gun is snapped in half or my fins, but pretty cool spot. Got one bedroom here, bathroom, and a big bedroom, the big bathroom. I can live with it. These birds hanging out, drinking from the pool. But not my typical style episode, but did want to show you guys some of the travel into things and hope you learned some things about packing your spearfishing gear if you've got it. We have a really exciting weekend planned here in Belize. We're gonna get out on the boat and do quite a bit of spearfishing and hopefully see quite a few things. There was a gentleman that helped set all of this up, and his name is Will Mitchell. He also has a YouTube channel, so I'm gonna put his info in the description if you'd like to check him out. You're gonna meet him on the next episode, but if you're interested in checking his channel out, he is a local here in Belize, and he pretty much does everything Belize, so I'll leave that below. I will see you guys on the next one. We're gonna hit the water first thing tomorrow morning, get out there and do some spearfishing and see Belize. I'll see you Monday at 6 p.m. Later.